It's April 1985, just before my 8th birthday, and I'm coming off the Little League field, and my mom grabs me and she says, "You have a lump on your neck, did you hurt yourself?" I've been sick for the last few weeks and my parents were worried, and they bring me to a doctor. That doctor visits and a few more doctor visits, and ultimately a biopsy confirms I have Hodgkin's lymphoma. I'm 8 years old at this point. I have no idea what Hodgkin's lymphoma is. I just know I need to take special medicine for the next several months, and that special medicine turns out to be chemotherapy. Chemo's the hardest part. I could still remember the burning going up and down my veins and begging my mom for cold washcloths to make me feel better. This goes on for several months, and I think it was somewhere about 3 months left in treatment. And there was this one moment where the nurses and doctors had tried to get a vein several times, and they couldn't find a vein. And my mom was there and my dad was there, and I was begging them to just let me go home. My mom steps out because she's getting upset, and my dad's trying to comfort me. And in walks into the room is Dr. Weinblatt. He's got his corduroy pants on. He's got this blue, yellow and off-white and brown striped shirt, and his Mickey Mouse tie and his Mickey Mouse yarmulke, and a play school stethoscope. And he says, "Jesse, what's wrong?" And I said, "I just want to go home. I don't want to do this anymore. I can't stay here. I'll come back next week. I don't want to do it. I just don't want to be here." And he grabs my left hand, he kneels down on the floor, and he says, "Don't worry, I got you." And I took a deep breath and I relaxed. And in the very next attempt, the nurses got the vein.
Sometimes actually it is these little things, and we hear this from patients years afterwards, that have some kind of an impact. Not necessarily something that where I'm imparting information about an illness or something like that, but just taking a personal time out to connect and give people a little bit of some encouragement, and it works. It's that's part of one of the things they don't you don't learn in medical school. It's part of the art of medicine, but also anyone who goes into this profession learns to develop a way of having empathy with patients, because they're going through a lot. Even if the results are very good, which fortunately they are, patients go through a lot, and you can't help but feel for the patient, and you try to do everything you can to help them get through it.
There was a lot of places that Dr. Weinblatt could have been at that moment, and he knew the most important thing was to just be with me. He was responsible for every child on the floor, and I was the one that he was going to be with in that very moment, and that was the most important thing.
I'll do different things for different children. I got to know the children very, very well, and I know how to push the right buttons to relieve tension, make them laugh, sometimes by doing crazy things, sometimes by just comments I'll make. And I pick up, and fortunately I can usually pick up on the mood of what's going on at that time. Very rarely do I put my foot in my mouth, although sometimes I do that and that gets a laugh too. But that's really part of the job too. It's not just the science of it. It's not just the treatments. It's trying to help every child, every treatment they have. And because of different things that come up. Sometimes a child just doesn't want to be there, just frustrated. Sometimes a child just is annoyed because they're missing some event with some friends. Sometimes a child, believe it or not, wants to be in school. We're getting a lot of that now in the middle of this pandemic, where children can't wait to get to school because they're going nuts at home. And it's picking up the vibes of the child, which you then use to create a moment. That's part of the fun of it. And that's, again, one of the reasons why I chose this specialty, because it's something that most of us can pick up pretty well, but if you can make a child be more compliant, or a child even laugh, or a child say, "I'm not in a rush to go home, I want to hang out here a little bit more," you've had a good day.
It's been 35 years since that first treatment that I went through, and here's what I'm left with. One person at a time. Just be with one person at a time. And that's what we're doing in this campaign for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. With one person, one patient, one donor, one family member. Together, we can cure cancer. Because don't worry, we got you.